This is the Sentra Nismo, a hopped-up, higher-performing version of Nissan's quiet and refined small car. It's not the first go-fast Sentra, but it is the first to wear the almighty Nismo badge, which you typically find on the highest-performing versions of cars like the 370Z and the crushing GTR. Like its competitors, this version of the Sentra gets a great-looking body kit that works beautifully with a recent styling update. The look with white and red accents and that great new face is like a hopped-up baby Maxima. The suspension uses special parts and tweaks to improve handling. The brakes are bigger than those on the standard car, and parts of the body are reinforced to make it stiffer. You also get this 1.6-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine with 188 horsepower and this 6-speed manual transmission, so you can drive it using both feet, although don't get too excited about that until you finish watching. Nismo is Nissan's in-house tuning division, and usually their badge is reserved for cars that are very fast, athletic, and hardcore. That is not what the Sentra Nismo is. So I think some context might be helpful if you're considering one of these, because you should know what this car is and also what this car is not. Think Nismo-inspired upgrades, not a full do-over. This is not a track 2 Nissan Sentra that you'll be using as a weekend race car. It's not designed with lap times and cornering G-forces as the ultimate priority. Instead, what this is a good option if you like some of Sentra's more compelling core attributes, which we will get into, but also if you want a little more style, content, friskiness, and punch. And if you're a fan of the brand, but say a GTR Nismo isn't in the budget, well, maybe here's an alternative for you to park a bit of that magic in your garage. Alright, Sentra Nismo, let's see what you've got. Power-wise, there's decent response at low revs and strong pull at mid to high revs. The turbo breathes well right to redline, so acceleration doesn't fall off as max revs approach. The pull is strong and robust, especially in the upper half of the rev range. It's a little workhorse of an engine, and once you get it breathing, it scoots along real nice. Enthusiasts may wish to budget for an aftermarket exhaust. When you open it up, this just sounds like a Ford Escape. Steering? Well, you don't feel much of what's happening between the tires and the road, but when you engage the sport mode from this button, the feel at the wheel is on the quick and heavy side, set up nicely for the way the suspension is tuned. It's sporty and a little bit of fun, but not hyperactive. Handling? Well, there's a good bit of body roll early on, then the suspension sets and feels relatively stable. This is not the flattest, sharpest, tidiest handling little sports sedan going by a long shot, although there is redemption in terms of ride quality. More on that later. Braking, a touch of numbness at the top of the pedal keeps the brakes from feeling too touchy, but then stopping power and precision build appreciably. Overall, the feel is really good once you get them working a little, and panic stops happen hard and fast. Shifter, clutch, and changing gears? Yeah, no. On the plus side, the shifter is light, easy to use, and easy to shift quickly despite a tall shifter and long throws that are a little inconsistently spaced. And the clutch is fairly soft, so it doesn't get tiresome in traffic and is forgiving for novice manual drivers, though enthusiasts will wish for some more bite. Stick shift veterans will feel left out in the cold though, mainly because of throttle programming that numbs and smooths and delays many of your inputs fairly aggressively. It's like the throttle is attached to a pail of melted cheese and then to the engine. Revs hang and surge at weird times, small throttle inputs are nearly ignored, and this all mucks things up when you're trying to shift during sporty driving. You have to train yourself to adapt to the weirdly disconnected throttle feel, and once you do, you find out that you can shift smoothly or quickly, but not really both. It's like canceling Christmas. This also causes frustration during heel and toe shifting. Give the throttle that little poke while you're on the brakes, and the blip happens so slowly and after such a delay that I just stopped bothering. Saying this is against my religion, but here's a sports car that might actually be better with the automatic transmission. So some of the driving dynamics are pretty good, even if the shifter and throttle tuning could use a fair bit of work. Performance-wise, Sentra Nismo's biggest asset is the little torque monster engine matched well by the strong brakes. It's good on fuel too. And here's something telling. Many of this car's best attributes have nothing to do with its performance. The cabin, for instance, great accenting, mandatory boy racer bolstered seats, a fantastic suede trim steering wheel, and some sporty bits. But beyond that, it's huge in here by small car standards, easy to get in and out, generous back seat even for 2 adults, and lots of storage nearby, and room to spare in every direction. And look at the size of this trunk, it's massive. Ditto the featured content, a Bose stereo, push-button start, Bluetooth, heated seats, a full suite of connected car apps with text message assist, navigation, a backup camera, automatic lights, and plenty more. That's a great collection of features for the less than $26,000 Nissan wants for this top dog Sentra. And the ride quality too, which in a word is excellent for two reasons. First, it rides like a bigger, pricier car. Even on the sport suspension and thin tires, Sentra Nismo rarely feels like it's crashing into bumps, and the suspension feels durable and solid, not fragile. It's a lot more comfortable than it looks like it should be, and even up to speed, noise levels are kept nicely in check too. This might be the quietest, roomiest, and most comfortable hopped-up compact I've ever driven. Still, I think the Nismo badge and the look of this machine set my expectations too high. Sentra Nismo is a shifter, an exhaust note, and a good bit of electronic throttle calibration away from being a much better car for the driving enthusiast. And if you're one of those after the ultimate sports sedan under 30 grand, you'll probably want to look elsewhere. But if you're after solid all-around feature content, bang for the buck, and a very comfortable and bigger than you think compact with a good bit of punch and some feisty looks, it remains worthy of consideration. Just be sure to drive the Honda Civic Si and especially the Hyundai Elantra Sport too. Thanks for watching.